against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it, and I want to make sure you understand why.
And we are back. We are back for another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine. We're on episode 118. Child. Look, I just listened to a word from the heavens, from the Lord himself, from the Alpha and the, I'm not saying Dr. Umar Johnson is any of that. I'm just being facetious. That was a clip that I pulled from the most recent Dr. Umar Johnson interview on The Breakfast Club. Now, look, after hearing that quote or that clip, you may have clicked to the next podcast. I understand. Okay. No. Please give me a chance. Listen. Here, look. We're not just gonna talk about him, of course. I have a whole agenda for today's episode, and this topic with Dr. Umar Johnson actually came towards the end of the agenda. But this quote, what he said, just like resonated so well with me that I just need to start it off with this. I just need to make it very exponentially clear. I agree. Hello? Is the mic on? I agree. Should I stop whispering? I agree. I mean, what? And, we live in a world where we can't, unfortunately, comfortably say, I want a black family. I want to see more black families. I want to see representations of black family. And not a black family who, it includes a black man, a dark-skinned black man with a light-skinned black wife. No, not a black family that includes a black man with a white woman. No, not a black man that includes a Hispanic woman. No, I want a black man. Okay, on some, what's the guy from Living Single? What's his name? Kyle Barker, black man. Okay, so you know how he was super kunta kinte out, with his thick lips, with his locks, black man. Okay, and a Maxine Shaw, black woman. Okay, the same hue, the same melanin, the same. I want to see that represented throughout the media. I want to see commercials of the black family. Instead, I see what I've said earlier. I see oftentimes just a black man, and they think it's a black family because, oh, well, there's one of them is black. The wife is white. Hello? And the children are mixed. And we're only seeing 3C hair. We're only seeing Hispanic representation. And we're only seeing is again another back hit to the face, a slap to the face of why black families don't matter to the societal norm. So when you see people like Dr. Umar Johnson saying things like, I don't agree with the interracial relationship, it's astonishing for a lot of people because this is not what you're supposed to say. Love is love, and who I love doesn't dictate my loyalty to the black community. It doesn't. Because I could have swore it does. He said a really fascinating quote. I don't know if he got it from somebody or he just said it himself, but it was really profound to me. He said, show me who you love and I'll tell you who you are. Now, I don't know if he's trying to slap me in the face. I don't know. That kind of hit me. But no, show me who you love and tell me and that'll tell me who you are. If you are oftentimes loving those who don't look like you, who don't resonate with your struggles, with your victories, with your essence, with who you are, with your identity, if you oftentimes is chasing people who do not revere you, who do not see you as equals, then that's really telling to who you are and to your character. I know, I'm not even gonna get into details about this person, but I know someone who is like semi-pro-black or whatever that looks like in today's age, and wife isn't black. And every time I think about like, is this like, do I have boo-boo written on my forehead? Like, am I boo-boo the fool? Like, I think, there's this facade that I have seen with certain black men who come across very, progressive and super pro-black, or maybe not even super, just like progressive enough where, he knows what the fuck James Baldwin wrote. He knows the impact of hisness, and yet your track record of women who you've loved, of the woman who you currently love, and women past has never looked like you, right? Of course, you don't want your woman to look like you as far as like a man, right? But like if you're a man, but as far as just the essence of who you are, there's a disconnect. So when I see Dr. Umar Johnson saying boldly and proudly, and though he gets a lot of flack, I get it. Like that school that he's been meaning to open up, when is the enrollment date? When is it opening? I want to know, when is it going to happen? But I resonate with a lot of things that he says, and I of course agree, because I talk about it a lot on my podcast, how there is more times a black man with a white woman than I see a black woman with a white man. Last night I went to the Houston Improv here in Houston, and I went to go see Marlon Wayans, who can I just like have an appreciation post for Marlon Wayans? I just love a goofy nigga. I don't know, like I fucks with people who just honest and real and just cool, and I really enjoyed his comedy set. Like I laughed, I had a great time. I loved the opening act. I gotta remember his name to see what else he does, but I enjoyed the show. I had a really great time. But what really drew me to even consider going was the fact that I just fucks with Marlon Wayans, like as if I know him. Like he's like someone I would definitely be friends with. He has the personality that I just vibe with, as far as just is down to earth, just real dude, goofy, chill, not too cool for school type of guy. I hate guys who are who's too fucking cool to be goofy. Like, nigga, go pick your nose. What are we doing? Like, and he's just very straightforward, very cool. And I loved him ever since he was in the Wayans Brothers show. I love that show. And even on that show, he was portrayed as the goofy brother, right? The one who was just like silly, don't know what he's doing, just a dumb, stupid one. While Sean was seen as the sexy, more mature. And though he was, as far as like more mature of the characters, I still went towards Marlon Wayans, because something about him was just so real and honest that I just resonated with. I love just a funny person, someone who's just really just dope. So that's who Marlon Wayans is to me. So when I saw that he was gonna be here, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. What dicks do I need to suck to make it to the show? I'm kidding. I didn't suck any dicks. I got everything legally and morally. But I had a really great time. Okay, so anyway, I brought that up because while I was in line waiting to enter the improv, I saw this black woman with this white man. And at first, I don't even think about, I don't know, when I look at black women with white men, I just don't even think that, oh, this is your husband. I just think that this is someone who you just probably fucking with for the night. I don't even consider this is the man that you decided to marry. And I really don't have a problem. I don't really care. It's because I'm not dating that black woman, right? I'm not dating that white man. It's something when it bothers me and I take it personal. And it's not about you, Maxie. Just shut up. Okay, whatever. I'm making a point. But I take it personal when I see the black man with the white woman, right? Or the non-black woman. So I feel like it's a dig to me. I don't know. He's not about, okay. I still take it as such. So anyway, when I saw her with this white man, I was not immediately thinking husband. I was just thinking, like, honestly, a friend. But then I realized, their mannerisms don't look too friendly. It looked like a romantic couple. So, and then I noticed her hand, she had a ring on her ring finger. And I'm looking, you know me, I quickly, well, I don't know if y'all know that about me, but whenever I look at anybody, it could be grandpa from down the block, a nigga from the streets, I'm looking to see a ring. I mean, it don't matter to me regardless, but the point is, I just like to, I scope people out, I scope them, you know, I look at you in your eyes, I see, you know, what you wearing, what you smell like, you know, what ring you got a ring? Okay, you know. So I noticed that he didn't have his ring on, and maybe it's a white thing. I don't know. Maybe white guys don't wear rings. Maybe that was her side nigga and she forgot to put down her. I don't know. Well, anyway, regardless, I saw her with this white man. And I was just in awe. Because I'm very observant. I like to just look at people and look at their dynamics, look at relationships, look at how people communicate with each other. I'm very just intrigued by people and just the essence of who we are. And as I was looking at them interact, I was noticing, like, he'll have moments when he would kind of rub her back, but then he'll stop rubbing her back after like a few moments and just stand by her. Then I noticed moments when they were both like wearing their masks like steadily, even outside. Like, nigga, can you take the fucking mask? Can you take the fucking mask off? Take the fucking mask off. But whatever makes you more comfortable. I gotta remember that. What makes me comfortable is what makes me comfortable, and what makes you comfortable. You know, I have to accept that. But niggas, I get so annoyed. I swear, I know people who they haven't admitted it to me, but I know people who would sleep with their mask. I just believe it. I see niggas around just wearing masks all day, every day. Like, they eat with their mask on. They don't even take it off. They figure out a compartment to put the food through the mask and eat. Like, I'm just so sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all, sheep. Anyway, he's whatever. So he's fully in his mask. There was moments when she took her mask off. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, sister, yeah. You know. But I never saw his face. Never saw his full face. I only saw the top of his eye, top of his head, his eyes, and his brunette hair. He was well built. I mean, he wasn't scrawny or whatnot. He was fine. He was good. He was fine. Okay. So like, fine. Okay. He was fine. And I'm just trying to look at him like, what about him made you go ahead and head over to the other side? And again, love is love. You never know how people just interact and I'm not against it, but I'm against it. But I'm not against it as far as like the black woman with the white man. It's more so the black man, because I'm dating the black man, right? I'm not dating the black woman. So that's how I see it. So the whole time I'm looking at, and they were right in front of me, and I'm looking at them. I'm trying to think like, is he like cracking a joke right now? Is he like holding her in a way that she just feels so warm, or what is it? I'm just trying to really get into their I'm just really trying to look at them, and I'm sure it could be those things. I'm sure she feels loved and seen and heard by him, and I'm sure, but I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't. I could not see it. I couldn't see it because I couldn't see the rest of his face. he still had his mask on. Even while we were inside seated at our table, they just happened to sit right atop of me and my friend. So as I was looking up, I noticed them, and that nigga still had his mask off. Like, damn, nigga, you laughing inside the mask? We're at the comedy show. You know how you can sit down, you enter the establishment, and you enter it with the mask, but upon seating at your table, you could remove your mask. You could drink and, eat your food. I don't think they even ordered anything. I think they just sat there. Anyway, I never got a chance to see his face. So I never really got a chance to really assess him and look him up and down and really get to see, like, oh, okay, I can see why she with him. With a Brad Pitt, or not even Brad Pitt. I don't even care for him like that. It's a Matthew McConaughey for me. I could understand, if you wanted to go, ski the slopes, I could understand with Matthew McConaughey. If you wanted to kind of figure things out, I could understand. Who else is a pass for me? I would say, Ryan Gosling is cool. I just really appreciated his role in The Notebook, his character in The Notebook. So just off the strength of that, I could understand. But this white man, I couldn't figure it out because I couldn't really get to see him in his fullness. So I think about my one time, let me make that very clear, my one time experience with a white man. And I can't even say experience because it was so short-lived that it was enough for me to realize, oh yeah, I'm sticking with the niggas. Like, there was no strong persuasion. There was no, oh wow, maybe I will have a white husband. And there was nothing that I felt it in my spirit to really consider being with this nigga, being with this white man. And anyway, so me and him, whatever, just call him white guy because he's the only white guy I'm talking about. So what happened? Okay, so we went on. Okay, prior to us going on this one date, the one day that we went on, he would try to flirt with me at the place that we had in common. Let me just say that. I won't make it obvious because some people listen to this podcast, they know, they could kind of put two and two together. But he flirted with me, and he would do it in a way where, I don't know, it was kind of hard to read. And I couldn't understand, like, damn, should I pick up a book on how white men flirt? Because I can't tell. Or maybe it was just him being awkward and weird, but I just really couldn't put two and two together. Like, oh, is this nigga flirting with me right now? Or is he, like, not? Like, what's going on? There was moments when he'll, like, lean in a fashion where you could tell through body language that he's opening up to me, or that he's feeling this desire for intimacy with me. So, like, when you can kind of feel the energy in the room. So I would notice it in those moments. But as far as saying words that were blatant, that were very clear and direct for me to pinpoint, oh, he's flirting with me. I really couldn't tell. But anyway, he ended up taking me out, and I said in a previous conversation how I love a good burger. Like, wow, good burger joint is just like, whew, I love a good burger and good fries. Here's the thing. I'm not a bougie girl. Let me just make it very, very clear. I'm not a bougie girl. I just want to understand, though I said I love a good burger joint, why are you bringing me out to a burger joint? What? Oh, so you really taking me to a burger? Like, oh, we really going to Burger King right now? Oh, we didn't go to Burger King, no, but we went to another burger joint that was, look, the food was great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the meal, but we went to a burger joint. Okay? I don't even think we got anything to drink. I don't think there was even alcoholic beverages offered at this establishment. So I got a Coke with fries and a cheeseburger without the cheese. Oh, okay. So we're friends. Wait, we are friends. We are friends. Nothing more. We are platonic as friends, because you cannot convince me that you was trying to, at any point, impress me, woo me, seduce me by bringing me to a burger joint. Yes, you listened to me when I mentioned this in a previous conversation. Sure, your listening skills got a point up because you remember I said I liked a burger, a good burger. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care, because what you could have just done was order me a burger and surprise me with this for lunch. That's what you could have done. Anyway, so we went to the burger joint. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck do I wear to a burger joint? And it's our first quote unquote date. I don't know what to expect. He's white. What do I do? I didn't pick up the book for How White Men Flirt. Where's the book? Who's the author? How do I find this? I have Amazon Prime. I could ship it right now and get it today if I wanted to. But where is the book for How White Men Flirt? Because I need the 101. How White Men Flirt for Dummies. Okay? Because I couldn't pick it up. So we get there. Ciao. The awkward meter just went up tenfold. Do you hear me? The awkward meter went tenfold. And look, I'm very easy to talk to. I can sense the energy in the room, and someone who may be naturally awkward and a little bit introverted, I will make you feel comfortable to just talk to me, to just be and chill with, like, that's just my aura. So I was doing a lot of that when it came to our date. And I feel like, that's fine if we're friends, right? If we're just acquaintances, if it's nothing more than that. But if you have stated your attraction towards me, if you have stated your desire to see where this could grow, and like there is clearly a romantic interest that you have towards me, I do not want to pull the weight in this relationship. And I feel like if my partner is super awkward and extremely introverted, and look, I could be introverted at times, and I just say that more so because I like my me time, and I know that's categorized under the introvert umbrella. I love my me time. I choose to be by myself, to go out by myself many times. So under that umbrella, I do categorize as introverted in some ways. But to be honest, I'm really right in between introvert and extrovert, which is ambivert. That's really me. So, but if I have to be in a relationship with a man, whether white, black, Indian, or Asian, okay? Yellow bone, thick bone, white bone, I don't care. And you're so introverted that I have to pull shit out of you, my pussy is dry. Hello? Hi. My pussy is dry. I cannot be on anything. I cannot grow with any man who cannot have a conversation, who cannot keep the conversation going, who cannot divert the conversation to the next natural topic. Like, why am I leading things, even in conversation? So that just tells me I gotta lead you when it comes to decisions. I gotta lead you when it comes to big milestone moments in your life. I gotta show you how to walk. I have to show you how to walk. I don't like that. I really don't like that. So I feel like the small moments that may seem small to some is very big moments that I notice in people whom I may be interested in, whom I am trying to see where things could go. I don't find it attractive at all if you're someone who's extremely introverted and extremely awkward. I will find the next exit, okay? So we got to the burger joint. Ciao. Apparently, this date was It wasn't the worst day I've been on. But it wasn't the greatest. The food was good. That burger was hitting, but it wasn't the best day. So we get to the burger joint. We get to the burger. To see your story, I'm having flashbacks, y'all. So okay. So I get there. We ride separately, right? So it's not like he picked me up and that's fine. That wasn't a big deal to me. I was fine. I was fine to go as I please with no issue. So we get to the burger joint, and I think I arrived right before. No. Apparently he was there, parked in his car, right, probably 5 minutes prior to me arriving. I get there, and he must have saw my car because the parking lot was already empty somewhat. The space was still open. It was still during open hours, but he saw my car. Oh, he had to have seen my car. I told him I was here. He knows the car that I drive, and I didn't realize he was there. I didn't know the car he drove, but he must have seen me. And I feel like if you were a real nigga, let me just have a conversation with you guys real quick. If you a real nigga, right? If you just a real, and that's why I love black men. And don't get me wrong, there are black men who are weird and awkward too. I've seen a couple of them. And I've regretted saying hi. But more often than not, black men are more engaging from my experience. So if you a real nigga, you see that I arrive a few minutes after you know the car that I drive, why wouldn't you, like, if you were a real nigga, right, you'll get out your car, you'll meet me at my door, you'll walk with me into the establishment. Tell me why this white guy did what he did. So he knows I'm there. I get out the car because he finally tells me that he's here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know. Oh, okay, so you're here. So he gets in the car. He walks to the establishment, to the burger joint, to the front door. And I'm walking behind him, but like, I'm not even walking that close behind him. He's like further ahead. And he's already at the door. Like, what's going on? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Why aren't you meeting me at my door? What? It's really the little things for me. It's really why aren't you meeting me at my door? Why aren't you kissing my feet, white man? This is reparations. I'm kidding. No, but why aren't you meeting me at my door? So we get to, I meet him at the front door of the burger joint. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Here comes the bullshit. But I'm already locked in. At this point, I want the burger. Let me just have the burger. So we order the burger. We sit down at a table, and he's showing me. He's not even leading anything. Oh my God, it was such a dumbass date. He's not leading. He was so awkward, y'all. It's suddenly this energy that I thought I saw in him prior to this date. This, the brief moments when he would flirt with me and his body language was open and his shoulders were open. Like, and by open, I mean like there's this like, you know how there's tight shoulders and then there's relaxed shoulders. And that's what I saw from him. Very relaxed shoulders. Whenever he saw me, whenever I would get close to him, as far as like proximity, there was this openness in his shoulders that I noticed. And it was kind of sexy. Like, okay, ooh, what's going on? Ooh, it was kind of cute. But to come to this date and see this sudden shift, like, are you okay? Have you been with a black girl? Like, what's going on? So we get to the establishment. I meet him at the door. We order our food. He's letting me just pick wherever we're going to sit, which is like, oh, okay. I want my man to lead. I don't care. As loud as I am on this podcast and as I am towards my colleagues, my friends, my family, and I'm very bold and like, la, la, la. I want my man to lead the fuck out of me. How high am I jumping? Let me stop. I mean, not on some slave shit, but maybe the point is, I want you to be the man. I don't want to tell you what we're doing. I could of course, I want to feel heard, and I am heard, right? I am seen, I am valued, right? But I also want to feel secure in knowing that my man got it. He's not worried. He's not too stressed, right? And if he is stressed, I'm calming him down. I'm de-stressing him. I'm the relief, right? But I don't want two stressed motherfuckers, because sometimes I deal with my anxiety and I'm going through moments in my mind. I'm just like, oh, you know, I have to talk myself out of these deconstructive thoughts. I don't want my man to reciprocate that. What do you mean you're going through anxiety too, nigga? Like, the fuck? What do you mean you're having anxious thoughts as well? What do you mean you're contemplating suicide? What the I'm not saying I am, but like, the point is, I don't want my man to do any of that. And yes, create space for your man, for black men to be vulnerable and open and sensitive. I do leave space for that. I just think ultimately, though, when it comes time to lead the fuck out of me. I will walk with you, beside you, maybe a little bit behind you, but I want you to lead the fuck out of me. And I just did not see that in this white guy. Okay. And that was the real ultimate turn off. So we're sitting down, waiting for our food to be delivered to our table. And I'm just like, God, here we go. And I already feel like I gotta start the conversation. I gotta leave the conversation. Not like he wasn't talking. It was just that there was just this nervousness. Like, you know, you could just tell when someone's nervous. There was this nervousness that I saw in him. And I was just really just like, oh, here we go. I'm already out here. We're already here. Let me just make the best of it. And that's my mindset for any and everything. If I don't like something, but look, I'm in the middle of it, I will just make the best of it, find moments of gratitude, and just shift my thinking. And in that moment, my moment of gratitude was this fucking burger. This burger was the shit. Like, if that burger wasn't good, I probably would have had an attitude. But I didn't. The burger was really good. So the day ends. Come towards the end of the day, you know, we're walking towards our car. And he had just like look, white man, black man, still nigga. Okay, let me just say that very clear. White man, black man, still nigga, still man, still male species, right? He asked me, so what do you want to do next? What are you going to get into next? And I'm thinking, nigga, the fuck home. I want to go home. I want to get back to my home life, away from this, and forget this ever happened, and just enjoy the meal that I had and just let it digest in my body. That's all I was thinking. And I'm like, maybe. And I'm thinking, you know, me just trying to turn the situation to something better. Something like, well, maybe if I invite him over, maybe if I go over his place, this could be a shift in the atmosphere, and this could make the date that was whack into something that was better, that could be better. So I say that, right? I basically say, oh, well, and at that time I lived near that establishment. So I was like, oh, well, I live not too far. We could go back to my apartment and watch Netflix and chill, you know, and fuck, whatever. I'm kidding. But basically, do all of that. So prior to that even happening, he then gets closer to me. And he starts, what does he start doing? He's like holding me. I'm trying to remember right now. It's been a while. So he's holding me from my waist. He's holding me from my waist, and he's trying to like just kind of be cute with it. Like, ooh, like suddenly there's this aggression that I'm seeing from him. There's this aggression that I've been wanting from him since the start of the date. But as soon as we're about to depart, suddenly you're showing me this like angst that I've been wanting to see earlier. And I said to him, I'm like, where the fuck was this? I didn't say fuck, but I said, where was this earlier? He didn't say anything. He was speechless. I don't know if he even caught that, but I said that to him. And he was like trying to get close and even try to kiss me. I think he did try to kiss me, but I don't even remember how well. No, it was a really bad kiss. It was really bad. And it was bad because he had no lips. Yeah, he didn't have any lips. It was just straight teeth. Just straight teeth. And it was at that point, I said to myself, what the fuck? It was just at that point, how did I get here? Why am I here? What actions resulted into this moment transpiring right now? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because I just could not understand what cards unfolded, what decisions did I make for me to be in this moment in front of this white man who's attempting to kiss me and he has no lips, is all teeth. And I just could not. Maybe I should have foreseen it. Maybe I should have just not even given this date an opportunity. I just wanted to see what the fuck was going on over there, in the snowy plains. I just wanted to see what it was to go skiing sometimes. I just wanted to see what that white rice tastes like. I just wanted to see. And I saw, and I was unimpressed. I was unimpressed. Look, I say all that to say I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson. Save the black family. Save the black family. Let yourself just question why there is not enough images of authentic. I'm going to say that very purposefully because the authentic black family is the focus that I want to make. Of course, there's different shades, there's different melanin, but there is oftentimes not enough representation of the darker melanin black family. And that is the issue that I have as a dark-skinned woman, as, all of these labels that I have, as a 4C natural hair woman, as a woman of the Caribbean, as an ethnic woman, all of these things. There is not enough of me that I see in TV, in movies, in my surroundings nearby so far, and it's just disappointing overall. So it's not to say you can't find love in other races. Sure, okay, maybe, sure, but it's to say, what the fuck was wrong with the sister around the corner that you continuously ignored, and the other sister, and the other sister, and the other sister, and the other sister, and yet you want to continue portraying this pro-black life, pro-black, pan-African motherfucking shit. But your wife is black. Your wife is white. Your wife is white. Your wife is not black. Shut up. That should be the episode title. Your wife is not black. Shut up. I don't hear it. I don't want it. I feel like the same, like if Martin Luther King Jr. was married to a white woman. Shut up. If Malcolm X was married to a white woman. Shut up. What about all the work and all the activism? Shut up. Because what it looks like to me is that you don't care for black women enough to love on one, to commit to one, to be loyal towards one, to essentially give your life to one. Whether that's under the context of marriage or the context of just in a relationship, you are deciding to share your intimacy, your intimate parts with a white woman, with the same woman whose ancestors, whose surroundings, whose immediate family is not in agreement with you and your essence. Yet you don't see a problem with that? I'm sorry, what? That it just doesn't make any sense to me. And you can say, well, Bessie, once you just on a date with a white man, That was 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. But the point is, I'm not dating a white. That wasn't going to happen anyway. The point is, there's more examples of a black man with a non-black woman than there is with a black woman with a non-black man. Okay, so seeing that black woman with that white man last night at the comedy show, I was just trying to see what the fuck was it, you know? But I couldn't really tell because his mask was on still. Child, we'll get to more of what he says. I want to touch on this Ma'Khia Bryant situation. And please get a glass. Still keep on listening because I'm going to say what the fuck I want. But get a glass. First, I want to say this whole situation is disturbing. That's the best word that I could use to describe it. It's disturbing on so many levels. I think with this world that we're in, this PC movement, this Black Lives Matter movement, this Me Too movement, this whatever movement it is, this anti-Asian hate movement, that was just fucking bullshit shit. I think ultimately the issue is we are so quick to outrage. We are so quick to be in a hysteria than we are to look at all of the deciding factors, all of the contributing factors to a decision that was made on that fateful day. Now, racism is still real. I'm not one of those that don't believe in it. I recognize the reality of it, of course. I just want us to look at the situation in its fullness. Rest in peace, first of all, to this 15-year-old or 16-year-old girl who passed away. And I want to say that everybody failed her. Everybody failed her. Everyone failed this child. No matter how non-child looking she looks like, right? There's a lot of conversation. Look, I love comedy. Don't get me wrong. I love comedy, but damn, Tim Dillon. I love that white man. He's a white man, but he's gay. He's not attracted to me. I'm not attracted to him. But he talks about, I don't even want to laugh about this. I'll just laugh about it to other people. But basically there is this idea that fat black kids are older or more mature than their actual age because they appear to look like an older person, right? So in the video that is circulating of Ma'Khia Bryant and that fateful day, she does not look like a child, right? She does not look like a young girl. 15 is young, but her physical appearance does not make her look like a young, fragile child. She looks like a child, or a young girl, a young woman who could take whatever pain, take whatever comes her way, which is not okay. I'm still here to say that it's not okay, because oftentimes we like to mature children more than their age, and that's not fair. You know, you have young black sons in the household ready to be the man of the house because their father walked out on the family, and this 5-year-old now has to take care of his mother. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. I still think everybody failed this child, because when I read the story, and there's still some more unfolding news and quote unquote facts going around and popping up from it, and what I've gathered is that she is a foster child, and she was in her foster home, she was in her foster home, and her family, I think her real parents or maybe her foster parents, either way, parents of hers, whether it's her foster parents or her actual biological parents, was nearby in the neighborhood, and they knew this fight was going to happen. They knew that a few other women, and women is said on purpose here because apparently they were in their 20s, that these women was going to come to Ma'Khia Bryant's home and beat the shit out of her and jump her and hurt her and attack her. Yet instead of finding solace or refuge for this child, for this 15-year-old child, she instead was failed by her parents, because allegedly her parents were egging on the whole situation. They were in the corner or somewhere in the street just egging it on. Neighborhood kids, and you know, how much responsibility can you put on kids, right? But neighborhood kids was surrounding this moment and was egging it on, filming it, putting it on Snapchat, putting it on Instagram, making it viral, making it known. And this 15-year-old girl had to, or she felt like she had to defend herself. Instead of hiding out in her room, locking the door, and calling the police until these girls leave her premises, she felt like she had to take it upon herself to defend herself. Now look, I can't tell you when you need to defend yourself or not, right? I think, you know, ultimately, you know your own self-esteem. You know what you will accept or not. And maybe she was being bullied by these children or by these young women for a long period of time, and she had enough. Overall, though, this whole situation could have been prevented prior to the police officer shooting her dead, right? It could have been prevented. Those steps did not need to happen. Everything could have been stopped prior to the police officer even arriving at the scene. So she comes outside with a knife, and I'm not looking at the video again, so I'm not even too sure what type of knife it was, but it was a knife nonetheless. And these girls didn't have a knife, they didn't have a gun, they didn't have a knife, they didn't have anything as far as weapon goes. They didn't have a brick from what I could tell. And Ma'Khia had to defend herself. She's one person against 3 or 4 women who are in their 20s. And she had enough. So she is just jolting the knife towards them. I don't know, she actually got them a couple of times. Either way, she was jolting it towards them. But prior to her doing that, she actually called the police to get help from this jump. But my question is, I'm wondering, you know, why call the police prior and then go outside and handle it yourself? I would think if you call the police, you would wait until the police come and handle it for you. You would, you know, ensure your home is locked and doors are shut, windows are shut, so that no one can come in and attack you. You maybe get a ride and drive off from the neighborhood. I don't know. But I would think that, right? Either way, she called the police, and police arrives. But prior to the police arriving, she decides to still defend herself, and she does it with the knife. And upon the scene, a police officer sees this woman and I'm saying that with purpose because there is the idea that she looks older than what she is, right? Because of her physical appearance. And that is the oftentimes stereotype when it comes towards fat black girls. Or fat, period. Fat white girls, just fat, anyone fat. You think you're older, you think this is still a child, but well, you fat because you old. I'm not even trying to be funny, y'all. I'm really not. But that is oftentimes the perception. So this officer sees this commotion going on, and he only sees this woman, Ma'Khia Bryant, in his eyes, a woman, with a knife, attempting to stab, harm, kill, because you know a knife does wonders. Okay, not only does it cut up a good steak, but it could cut up an artery and you could die. It does wonders. And again, I don't remember what type of knife she had. I don't know, she had a butter knife. Either way, if you butter that knife, if you jolt that shit up real well, something could happen. Okay, like death, like murder. So upon arriving, he sees this woman with a knife attempting to stab, kill, harm, brutalize, handicap another woman who happens to be black, of course. So I see it as this police officer did what he thought was best in that moment. Oh my God, no, am I gonna get canceled? I see it like you arrive and you see someone with a weapon harming, like in the act. This is not something that just happened and it stopped happening, right? This girl was in the act of stabbing, and who knows how long she was stabbing her prior to the police officer arriving, right? So she's in the act of stabbing this girl. Is the officer supposed to just ask around first? Hey, could you tell me which one here is the victim? Could you tell me here, which one here is the perpetrator? Can someone walk me through this scenario first before I draw my weapon out? And sure, we could have a conversation about reforming the police when it comes to the system, the training that they have to endure, that they have to keep up with, that they have to use when it comes to any type of violence or chaos that's happening among civilians. But I think until that conversation happens, a random police officer, I don't see, especially a white one. And look, he could have been racist too. I think all that could be true. Multiple things could be true at once. And I think maybe he was a racist officer. And maybe if Micaiah was a Mary, if Micaiah was a Madeline, maybe he would have walked over there and gently grabbed the knife away from her. Sure, maybe. But I think ultimately, when you are in a moment where you have a weapon, your job is to protect and serve, is to defend, is to just protect, especially the one who is being harmed. Whoever it was that called who first. This is not SVU. This is not Chicago PD. It doesn't matter if you are the victim here. You are actively stabbing and hurting another civilian. The cop don't know who you are. They just know you as the one stabbing. And in their eyes, they're probably thinking, oh, this is probably the perpetrator. This is probably the one that is the harmful one, right? The murderer, the killer. So what does he do? What does he do? He shoots her, and he shoots her dead. And it's disturbing. All of it is still disturbing nonetheless. But I think, again, everything could have been prevented prior to the police officer getting there. How about not even leaving the fucking house after calling the police? How am I going to call the police and then go outside and try to fix it myself? Damn, I sound like I'm victim blaming. I'm really not trying to do that. But I also want us to have a wide range conversation instead of just making it and putting it under the puddle of this is another example of police brutality. I don't think it is. I think this is an isolated event. I think this is very interesting timing. You know, this was when this happened. This was during the reading of the verdict of Derek Chauvin and how he was found guilty, which I'm still not impressed, by the way. I'm sorry. Are you impressed, by the way? I'm looking at my plant, Magnolia. Hi, Magnolia. Are you impressed? I'm not impressed. Oh, the leaf just definitely moved. But I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by the system. I'm not impressed by you motherfuckers. I'm not impressed. I get up and go. I'm in my own world. I'm not impressed. But cool, great. He's guilty. Nonetheless, this happens while this reading takes place on this man's verdict. And I think it's just very the elite, whoever's in charge, something's going on, to be honest with you. Not to sound like woo woo woo, but I'm that girl, woo woo woo. There's something deeper going on. And ultimately, I just think I just felt like the officer did what he thought was best. And I'm not going to be quick to say this is another example of a racist police officer. I don't think it's black and white. This is not a black and white situation. I think what is black and white is an officer seeing a civilian stabbing another civilian. So what does he do? He disarms her. He prevents it. And his way of preventing it was by shooting her. And sure, it shouldn't have been as many times. It was 4 times in the chest. And maybe if he shot her in the leg, and it's just so funny. Like, people like try to tell you how to do your fucking job. And I'm here to say, and I'm not a police officer. I don't believe all blue lives matter. I don't really think all black lives matter. What? Okay, let me fix my seat. Let me just explain. I'm not saying when I look at niggas with white women, I don't think their lives matter. So you mean to tell me I'm supposed to come here and be like, all black lives matter? Not the nigga who's with that white girl. Not her, not his life. No. Child, okay. But the point is, what is the point? The point is, this case is not the same. I don't see it as the same. I don't think it's the open and shut. I think it's just an example of maybe there needs to be de-escalation training had for police officers, so that they, instead of shooting someone in the chest to die, maybe do something else. But I don't really like that either. I just don't like the fact that we have people, freedom of speech, of course, which is why I have this podcast. But I've been seeing people talk about it, and people saying, well, the officer could have shot the girl in the leg. Police officers don't do that. The aim that you have to make to shoot someone in their leg. And while you're making that aim, Micaiah, God rest her soul, she is passed, so I'm not even trying to talk bad on her. But during this time, while the officer is trying to shoot her in the leg, she's still able to move her arm and still stab the shit out of this girl. You think shooting her in the leg is gonna save the life of this other girl who's getting stabbed to death? Can we just talk about it? Can we just talk about it? Like, what are we doing? No, you can't just shoot her in the fucking leg. You can't. And if I'm the parent of the girl who's getting stabbed, if I'm the aunt, the sister, the loved one of this girl who's getting stabbed, I would want this girl to be dead. Let's just be we don't want to say it. I've been hearing some people say that, right? As far as like, I would want Bryant to be taken care of. I would want the police officer to make sure my life is taken care of, right? I would want her to be the fuck dead. You're not gonna mess with my loved one. You're not gonna mess with my sister, my child, my niece, you're not. I don't care who was in the right or the wrong. I want my loved one home. And of course, same for Micaiah Bryant, and it's just all disturbing. But I think she was failed by everybody. The grown women who wanted to fight her, the foster care system that didn't have eyes on her, that didn't care to protect her, her parents who clearly failed her as parents, and now they want to go about and be like, we were, victimized, and now I know how Trayvon Martin's mother feel, and is there a violin playing? Is there a violin playing right now? Because I cannot. This is some bullshit. Anyway, again, rest in peace. This is really sad. It's still sad, nonetheless. Chauvin was found guilty. Cool. But again, I'm not impressed. I do want to briefly touch on this one thing. So, child, they really don't give a fuck about us black people, melanated people, however you want to call yourself. There was an executive order signed to end Asian hate that I still don't believe I still think it's a farce. Yes, it's a farce. It's a distraction. It is this rhetoric that we're hearing that is just pure bullshit. Okay? We have the virus out for a year now, and Asians has been going through so much discrimination. I keep been going through so really that there needs to be an executive order. Can we cut the shit? Can we cut the shit? Where's our anti-lynching bill? The fact that even needs to be a bill is enough for me. Where's that? Because that, according to an article that I read a few days ago, that bill still has not been passed. There's been people still not on board with signing it. There's still some discrepancy with it. But niggas have an anti-Asian hate bill? Oh. There's a transgender executive order signed to protect the rights and livelihood of transgendered. Great for them. But what about us? What about us? What about us? What about us? What about it? What's that from, y'all? Tell me where's that from, and then I'll just say you got it. I'll just say you got it. But where's that song from? What about us? What about us? It's a female artist. It's the only hint I'm giving you. But all of these bills are signed for everybody else but us. What is going on? But Black Lives Matter. What are y'all doing? Y'all marching? But where's the bills that sign? Where are the policies in effect to push forward this change that you're marching for? What is Black Lives Matter doing? What is the difference? But I could breathe now. All right, you guys, I'm gonna end it right here. Bye.
Okay. Snow bunny crisis.
Okay.
I am against the snow bunny crisis. And I want your white listeners to understand. Because people be trying to say stuff like, he's the black Hitler. I'm not the black Hitler. I am in no way interested in hurting or harming the life of any human. White, Asian, Chinese. I believe in respecting everybody. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke-ass black man.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.